Look, here's something I want to show you as well. This is a real quick one for you. I was terrified when I heard how David Seymour decides difficult legislation, difficult policy choices. So you would think, Joey, like the normal person I think would think, if you have a disagreement on a policy, that you'd kind of nut it out. You'd figure it out, you'd compromise, it'd be give and take. That's not his way he does it when he gets a disagreement with a policy change. I'll play it for you. Hopefully this won't jump now. What are we on, just so I can see? About 8:17. And then we'll come back and have a chat about it.
Coalition work, but probably the biggest thing that unites us is we've just got really, really serious headwinds. So like you look at this budget we face, massively, lower tax take because the economy's slowing, massively bigger costs because there's some things the previous government didn't actually put aside money for. They sort of nunch in a wig said, yeah, we'll keep funding your medicines, but they didn't put the money aside. And then there's massively rising prices for everything. For we want to pay the police more, obviously, but
do they?
We also know that there's inflation in the nurses, and they could go off to Australia, and the teachers. And you put those together, you're suddenly dealing with
all of these
nearly 150,000 people that you've got to pay.
Yeah. It's a big $3 billion solvable one, isn't it?
Inflation, fiscal cliffs, and a soft economy. We've got to hang together to make this thing work and balance the budget at all.
100%. And, is the solution bringing in a lot of consultants to do that? Or do you think...
Just remember, this government, including him, was basically railing against consultants. So when someone says, should we bring in consultants, what would you expect David Seymour to say?
Don't need them. Waste of money.
Get that dirty words out of your mouth, consultants.
We've got the nous and the know-how here.
You need consultants if you're planning to do more stuff. It doesn't take much to do less. And I think that's a really important lesson. I mean, I learnt that to some extent in ACT's campaign. I think government should be learning this lesson through its deficits and its expenditure. Oftentimes I have a conversation, because I'm part of the budget team, and people will say, well, we're not quite sure if we can save money there this year, maybe we could review it for next year. I say, here's another idea. If you don't know, let's just stop. And if anyone misses it, we can fund it again next year.
So when you're looking at policy decisions, when you look at funding, if you don't know, if you've got a hard decision, Chewy, if you can't quite figure it out, let's just stop it. And let's see if in 12 months anyone's noticed that we've stopped it. Literally what he just said.
Jesus
if you don't know, just stop. And then we'll see if anyone picks up on it or misses it next year. And I bet you what, Chewy, I bet you most of them won't even notice. Well, what? Because they're all dead or whatever you've stopped funding for. I heard that on, I don't even know what this podcast is. I should give them, it's called James Lachlan, whatever that is. But I heard that while I was walking the dog and I was like, hang on, what? I went back. If you don't know, here's another solution. How about we just stop? And if people miss it, we'll relook at it next year. That's Seymour's decision-making process.
It is.
Most people are like,
terrifying.
if you don't know, let's dig into it. Let's get more
evidence.
experts in. Let's get some research and evidence around it, and then we can make an informed decision. His thing is, if you don't know, let's stop. Just think of the funding holes he will create with that kind of policy mindset. It's terrifying.
Okay.